Joy is the topic Pastor Scott asked me to address today. I did bring some things I'm going to show him, and I forgot one, and it was a Grinch face that I have. So, to be up front with y'all, there are some of my family members and friends that are wondering how I'm going to address joy during this season. I think it shows God's sense of humor to have me preach during this holiday. Not only do I have a nickname, the Christmas Grouch, I have a professional baseball player coming up to bat. I have a theme song. Let me sing a little bit of it to you. Every party needs a pooper, that's why they invited you. If you want to take a moment to turn to the passage we will be covering today, it's Hebrews 12, verses 1 and 2. As you finish turning to that, let me just let you know that I'm not against Jesus being born. Okay, so talking about joy, we're just going to read verses 1 and 2. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great crowd of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings to us closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking at Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. We prayed about my coughing, so bear with me. For the joy that was set before him. Jesus. What is the joy that he would leave behind? His Father, his throne, all the glory and honor and praise. Jesus did not have to do what he did. And I haven't even gotten to the cross in this dying part. He was already the Word, the Son. His death did not gain him anything, not these things. We like to think, and this is erroneous, that he came to prove something, to certify who he was. This passage starts with the word therefore. In context, chapter 11 is the Heroes of the Faith chapter. Since we are surrounded by so great a crowd of witnesses, another word for witnesses here, it's the Greek word martyrs. It's where we get our word martyr from. Yes, the Greek word is a witness of the word we get that martyr from. There seems to be two different schools of thought with this. As you're surrounded by such a great crowd of witnesses, the first is like a bunch of spectators watching the game, people who came before, and they're cheering us on. Kind of like we'll do with the Vikings and Cowboys later today. It kind of fits with the race theme of the rest of the passage. Let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely. The word picture for sin here I get is the one where the young man who wears his pants that are many sizes too big for him, and he's running away from something, needing to hold that pair of pants up. And let us run the race with endurance that is set before us. Perfect practice, let's say that 3 times, perfect practice makes perfect, is a coach's way of to prepare an athlete for a race. The other thought of this great crowd of witnesses is following a thought of the Old Testament saints who managed to live their lives despite moral failings, and for many of them are lifted up to the who's who on the faith list. We are to do likewise. Standing on the shoulders of giants is the way they would have put it when I was younger. Uh-oh. My coffee grinder broke. Anyways, this is a coffee grinder. I use it all the time. Anyways, I found this coffee grinder when my brother and I were cleaning up my folks' house to sell it, and I use it. I try to take a Sabbath day at the end of every week, and during it, I will grind my coffee beans. I will take and I'll use the hand grinder and I'll grind them up. What I'm creating is anticipation. I look forward to that cup of coffee because the rest of the week I'm drinking from a K-cup, which is okay, coffee shop, gas station, or drive-through. But also think about something like, let's say your mom or your spouse gets out the butter, the flour, and the chocolate chips, and where are we going with this? I was going to use someone's particular about that because I've had cookies there. And you start anticipating. What about, well, let's try, Tom and I were expecting grandchildren in the future. We're kind of anticipating that. What about a bride or a child who's getting married? How long does the bride consider getting married? Years, if not decades, am I right? Not the husband or the man, no. Show up at the thing, then he starts thinking about it. So, what I'm trying to create here, Jesus for joy. It's anticipatory. He wasn't for joy thinking about dying on the cross. There was something else he was anticipating. Verse 2 begins with looking at Jesus. I used to run long distance too many years ago, and my coach told me to stop looking around and to look forward. Yeah, I can get distracted sometimes. How many Olympic athletes have fallen behind in a competition because they were looking not forward? Why would Jesus anticipate leaving his throne in heaven? Sure, he is obedient to his Father that saw him through it. The passage we are looking at states, for joy. We celebrate his birth in this season, but that's only because he was born. That's not really what he came here to do. He came to face the cross. He stepped away from all he had for joy. Why would he do that? What was there for him to gain? But gain he did. What did Jesus gain? To answer, let's go back to the start. God created. And for 6 days and declared everything was very good. Look around you. Is this world very good? Look back historically. Has it been very good? Something happened. Something made everything not very good. Not very good at all. Maybe even bad. Who for the joy was set before him? Jesus loves you. That hasn't changed. That is the joy he anticipated, fixing what is broken. And that's what took Jesus here on our behalf. Enduring the cross, Jesus loves you. Despising the shame, Jesus loves you. Bringing everything back into order. This message requires something of us as well. The verse from Hebrews tells us that we need to fix our eyes on Jesus as the author and perfecter of our faith. He is the one we are following. He is the one that we are going to have to follow and love. And he loved, therefore we have to love. And so this message requires a response from you all. For some of you, if you have been sitting on the fence about this whole thing about Jesus, maybe you need to be able to take some moments now and consider just taking that step. Some of you, back and forth, you may have been involved with church things and have believed in Jesus, but sometimes you get drawn back into the world. I know I fall into this category often. So take a few moments and consider that. The rest, just keep on loving each other and all of us and demonstrating to us why Jesus had that joy to come here for us. And now I'll give it over to Pastor Scott for the communion.